Hey family, True Red here. I took a couple of Mondays off because there has just been so much overwhelming information, conversation, opinions, um, just a lot going on. We have the trial of the slaughter of George Floyd by cop, and then we have COVID, and it's up and it's down, it's up, it's down. We got the vaccines, and there's just been so much to take in. And I just needed a moment. I needed a moment to kind of gather my thoughts in this small little brain that I have. But I'm here this evening because I need help in understanding what's happening. And my concerns are always about Black folks. I am so confused, so perplexed, so disappointed with what is happening with us as a group. And I'm going to try not to ramble, and it's very difficult for me to keep thoughts in order. And I'm going to try to do that, not spending a lot of time on the vaccine. But I do want to say I know there are differences of opinions. I know there are Black folks who are gung-ho, they want to get the vaccine. That's fine. However, there are some of us who are not interested in getting the vaccine. And I have a difficult time understanding how being able to think critically and having questions about something that is new, as is the virus new, and having questions about a vaccine that we know nothing about. And those of us who question it seem to be falling for a conspiracy. And I'm just really confused as to what the conspiracy is. Like, I don't even think you have to have a formal college degree or even graduate from high school to understand that a new vaccine needs time to prove itself. Now, for those of you who don't agree with that, that's fine. There are some of us who do agree with that. And I don't think that that makes it a conspiracy. But I'm not going to spend time talking about the vaccine because, you're not going to come and find me strung up in a tree for committing suicide because I'm talking about something that's bigger than what we all know. So I'm just going to leave that thought there, but I am going to say there are some of us who have questions. And what I have found is that when you have questions, when you are not with the sheep and you're not just moving along with everyone else and you ask questions, you become the outcast. And that's fine by me, believe me, because I think what the goal is to have us, those of us who are against the vaccine to be ostracized, and, that's what it's going to be. And I could care less, because do I look like I fit in anywhere anyway? Don't care, never cared. But I know that I will continue to think critically and stand firm on what I believe in, and stand firm on something that makes no sense to me. But moving beyond the vaccine, just talking about Black folks, and I really want younger people and people who are in between, not real sure on what's going on. That's who I'm really concerned about. I could care if I have 2 people that watch the video or 70 people, because I just want my message to get out to those people who are unsure, right? Who maybe just be kind of caught into following friends. I have one friend who got the shot because her other friend did, like without thinking about it. So what I just want to say about Black people is that I don't understand why we continue to forget the mistreatment and the pure hatred that is demonstrated towards us day after day, year after year, decade after decade. It's like we just forget. And all that has to happen is some more Black commercials, some more Black women on TV, some more Black shows. We got Soul of a Nation that came. And, this is not, no disrespect. I know there's some Black producers involved, whatever. How about big corporation do a Black show about the journey to reparation for Black folks? How about something like that? Like, we don't need to continue to have these conversations to try to get white America to understand what our past is. We need to understand it. Those are the kind of dialogues we need to have, how we're going to move forward. Like, I'm so tired of all these conversations in these Black platforms where people are talking about, well, the system doesn't work. A, B, C. We know these things. We know it. But it just seems like no matter what happens, no matter what's done to us, all we have to do is be given a corporate sponsorship or a television show or a movie, and then we're okay, then we walk. I'm so confused by that. I'm so disappointed with Tamika Mallory. Here she was, and I've known Tamika, because those of us who have done activism work in the city back in the early 2000s, and there are a whole lot of people who were there before I was. And when you watch people go through and move and work with certain people, we have all that. And I was so proud of her breaking away from Sharpton, which I thought, and coming out after George Floyd was murdered and just speaking on behalf of Black folks, period. But now she is being sponsored by a major corporation. And then she's on a music show, right? Like, you can't be an activist and get work done and be bound by that. And that's what I want to say to young people. Please don't watch these head Negroes that white people have appointed for us. Please don't. Don't do as they do. Because if you're serious about moving our community forward, you have to do for self. And we have to be soldiers. We have to stop looking for these leaders and these big organizations to follow. We can all do something. And I'm just so confused by us. To allow people to say to us, oh, that happened, yeah, we know that pregnant women are dying in the hospital giving birth, pregnant Black women, because they're not getting the care. We know that we were experimented upon. We know all these things. We know that women in Harlem, were experimented upon during the AIDS pandemic. AIDS babies were experimented upon. We know all that. And it's like we just forget. And I think it's because we're so thirsty and we want to be so accepted and we want to assimilate. And no matter what anybody says, that is what seems like is still happening. And it's so disturbing to me. And I'll just continue to say what I say week after week, bring my guests on. And, I know some of you think that I'm very opinionated, and I do have my opinion, but that I don't listen to others, and I do. I have friends that are very close to me, and we spend hours on the phone debating, hours. But one thing I do know, I talk to white folks, all different kinds, all different. See, I'm not just stuck in my Black circle, circulating the same information. I speak to all different kinds of white folks. And I have a friend, a white male friend, who voted for Trump. We argue about that for hours, right? Voted for Trump supporter, Republican. And you know what he said to me? I'm waiting for the day for your people, for Black people, to say, we are tired of this shit, and get together and just make it happen. A white boy said this to me. And see, because I'm not so brainwashed with blue and red, I listen to what people say, and I listen to how people view us. And for whatever reason, other people of color and white folks have no problems discussing with me how they feel about Black people. That's how I get my information. And it all comes back to, we just are not cohesive. And we allow these appointed leaders to come in and direct the masses. And we have to stop it. And when we have somebody who we think, is speaking on our behalf, and then they don't, we have to move forward. It's okay to say we were bamboozled. I was bamboozled by Sister Mallory. I was so proud of her. So how much good can she really do us now being sponsored by Cadillac. How do you think that works? We have to stop being so thirsty. We have to stop it because other people know that we're thirsty. Because I've had other people say, yeah, like black people, we all talk about it. You just have to give them, they just like things. And then they walk away from their platform or whatever the issues are. We have to stop it. And we have to stop being so passive and being rocked back to sleep. And I don't care what this verdict is, whether, like, I think, this demon man, demon, whatever he is, subhuman, who slaughtered George Floyd, will walk or get a slap on the wrist and be on vacation with his family soon, whatever. Or even if he gets death, it doesn't matter to me, because that would be just one drop in the bucket. Because see, the way they think out here, it's calculated. And we don't understand that. And things happen for us, and then we forget. And we're back to square one, nowhere, like a hamster wheel. So I'm confused, and I am open to hearing what anybody else has to say. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I oftentimes post and video and then go back through a few days later and then reread everything. But please, I'm interested in hearing what people have to say about all of this, because I just don't understand how we walk away from the establishment that has continually inflicted psychological warfare on us, oppressed us, incarcerated us. We know that under the Rockefeller laws here in the 80s, we know that thousands and thousands of black men and women were incarcerated. Marijuana was a gateway drug while white kids got to use cocaine and get away with it. And now we're able to buy marijuana. So what happens to, I heard they're going to expunge the records of, people who are, what about people who are still incarcerated? What about that? We want to talk about Ceiling Breaker, VP. What about all these other things going on, right? Like we hear about the Asian hate. Listen, I am not for hate for anybody, but I am for the hate against my people that has not been dealt with by anyone, by these head Negroes in charge appointed, by people like Roland Martin, who blasted a 21-year-old who just wants to help his community and is not far left. See, that's the thing. You're not far left. They have us thinking you got to be far left, right? And you have to just go along with anybody far left. Roland Martin made a goddamn fool out of himself, and he's a buffoon for blasting this 21-year-old youngster who wants to do nothing but help his community. Who would do that but a devil's helper? And so, yeah, I'm pissed off tonight because I'm tired of this same old talk, and all they do is pacify us with these goddamn TV shows and, commercials. If I see another black commercial, I'm going to scream because I know it's not genuine. I know what the plan is. See, that's to make us think, oh, we're seeing ourselves on TV while all this other shit is going on in the background. So please help me out. Help a sister out. I have an open mind. I want to hear what other people have to say. I do. I really do. Have a good night.